Okay. All right. So something this Google Jobs search engine just got released last week. Um, it's completely brand new. People, all these different job boards have for a long time made gazillions and gazillions of dollars off of SEO, making sure that their jobs came up in the beginning of Google searches. And Google's been noticing, and I think Google wants to take that money from them. So there's been a lot of talk about Google coming up with their own applicant tracking system, and this applicant tracking system is going to supposedly, when it gets released, catalog everyone from CareerBuilder, Indeed, Monster, LinkedIn, and have one place to find every candidate that's on the web. It's not out yet, but they did release the jobs engine. So if you go in here and you put, I want to look for a skilled nurse facility nurse manager job in Scottsdale, you're going to see something that's never come before, which is this
I've been seeing
search
that.
engine. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is that they're bumping Indeed down past the visible searches. And Indeed and Google have been kind of at each other's throats for a long time, because Indeed has been the most successful at making sure that they're the first job posting anywhere you go. So if you click in the little blue part, or really anywhere in here, it'll open up an entire jobs search engine. Actually, URL up top doesn't change, doesn't go to google.job.com or anything like that. It's kind of like a framework inside of their thing. A couple things to note: they're scraping ZipRecruiter, CareerBuilder, Monster, Glassdoor. They're scraping sites that are a verified company's own career site. So if it's Heal River Healthcare, Banner Health, they will scrape their sites. If it's a staffing firm, unless they can't figure out a staffing firm, they are not scraping the site. So our jobs will not go in here, and as of right now, there's no way to make them go in there. They are also not scraping Indeed. You will not see a single Indeed ad in here. And the reason they're doing that is because they're fighting with Indeed, so they're not putting it in there. It's still really easy to look, go back. Now, Indeed right here, it's something we're going to have to be very careful of, because as this gets, whether this fails or succeeds is going to depend on whether our Indeed ads probably become non-existent or worthless, right? So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I think in the short term, it's not going to matter much because they're still right there. In the long term, I think it's still up for debate. But Google might start selling job ads that show up in the very front too, and that would be a game changer as well. Then I'm sure they have their own resume database as well. So this thing, you can use this just like you use on. The cool thing about it is I have job alerts set up for healthcare or for director of nursing jobs or whatever. I have to do that on Health Jobs Nationwide. I have to do that on CareerBuilder. I have to do that on Indeed. I have to do that on all these sites. You can do a one-stop shop. So as long as you're signed into your ACAN USA account, if you're not, come see me area, we'll get you signed in your Google Chrome. You should be already. But as long as you're there, all you got to do is click here on the bottom left. There's this Get Alerts for this search. Turn it on, and you can click on the gear button to manage what searches are nursing jobs, nursing officer jobs, GSM, next-gen jobs. I get emails anytime a new job gets scraped by this, and it's scraping all those different job boards, so it's very helpful. You can also put in your company, so if you want to follow or track Banner Health, follow or track Gila River, give you a heads up when they post a new job so you go after it. Same thing, type in Gila River Jobs AZ or Banner Health Jobs AZ, and you can go in there and turn on an alert for that as well. Automotive dealership, parts managers. You don't even have to put a location. You can set up an alert so that every time a parts manager at an automotive dealership job gets posted on the internet anywhere, you get an email about it, whether it's in Illinois or California. Right? Like I said, if you have any questions about it, come see me. I'm sure there's some but you can see how useful this might be. And you can see also it's showing all their different ads from CareerBuilder, from LinkedIn, all in one, easy to use thing, which is really neat. All right, so screen CareerBuilder. We went over how to find out how to use. We went over how to set up alerts. I use these for marketing. If I have a director of nursing home marketing, I'm using these alerts to kind of come up with new places over the next week or two to market them to. We went over keeping up specific company. You must be signed in. I think that's it. Any questions anybody has?
So this is just for jobs. It's not for resumes.
Just right. And right now, it's not their own jobs. Right now, they're scraping other people's jobs. But I would imagine pretty soon Google will be selling job spots.
And why are they scraping our site?
They have decided that they're not going to duplicate jobs, and they view every staffing firm's job is a duplicate, so they're not scraping any staffing firms.
Okay, so our stuff is on. Well,
They're not scraping anything anyways, yeah. But we have it posted on our site, and Google does scrape the entire internet. If we were Banner Health, they'd be scraping the jobs on our career portal, but since scraping and staffing, I don't know if that was
It's a duplication.
It's a duplication, yeah, that's why.
And how do they know where stuff is from?
Well, for us, we have it in our name, but other people, I don't know, I don't know.
What do they mean?
I'm sure that's probably their first tier of knocking out those if you have staffing or recruiting. Do you want to go over the other thing?
Yeah, I'm going to send a memo, but two websites, not websites, two roles that we all have. One is Webcam, I believe. Peruse that website. Those are people who are responding to our ads. It's called Webcam.
It's a roll-up.
Webcam, not cam.
Okay, I'm like, yeah. All right, anyway, Webcam. Go into the roll-up. Go into the roll-up.
Yeah, that's him.
Go into the roll-up. If the candidates have been there for over a week, we check with your candidates. When you reach out to them, when you interview them, take them out of the roll-up. Okay, so we're going to do that. Stay on that. The other roll-up that we're having is an unreachable roll-up. These are people that we can reach. I don't want you to put people in there who say things like, "Don't ever call me again. I'm not interested in making a move. I love my job." Anyways, if they're reachable candidates and they're viable candidates, leave them in PCR. You can make a note. Person very difficult to work with, so the next recruiter they talk to them. But keep in mind, the candidates that we have in PCR are people who we want our clients to interview. They're not candidates who want to talk to APN. So if you have a candidate that doesn't like APN, we have a challenge. How do you get that person in front of a client? And there's some tricks and trades to do that. But the client is the one that's going to want to hire them, not necessarily the people that work with APN that they can interview. So make sure you don't put those people in there. If people are in PCR, the reason they were in there, at some point in time, and I don't know if it's all totally correct, at some point in time, someone decided that person is a viable candidate for PCR. If the information in there is not accurate, make sure you make some sort of effort to find them. Google their name, LinkedIn, do something to make the information current. The best way to keep information current is if you put the people in the system correctly. You get all the information that they have when you speak to them. Work number, home phone number, cell phone number, yada, yada, yada. Another big part to keep track of candidate is to get the list of references. Inevitably, they're going to put their buddy down there, and inevitably, their buddy's going to know where so-and-so is. So if you go through those steps, there's a really good chance that you're never, ever going to lose track of them. But anyway, having said that, on the unreachable thing, don't put people in there if they are viable candidates, and you can update them. Backup limit. The people that are ending up in that unreachable are people who don't want to make a move. Those people stay at PCR. If we can't reach them, they're retired, they're dead. Those people are getting deleted. And if there's a lot of information, if there is no viable information to find out who they are, the chances are when I review that file, I'm going to delete them. And if there's a lot of people who get in there who are saying, they've got bad backgrounds, information that we determine not really that's what we work with, there's a good chance I'm going to delete those people too. I don't want people like that in our system. So, but I will review that. On the healthcare side,
that's contradictory what you just said.
if there's somebody in our system who's
somebody
like,
we don't want to work with.
well, somebody should not have been in PCR in the first place, i.e., they are they're working out of a jail cell. The chances are I'm going to delete them. There's somebody who, anyways, if there's something about their background anything about their background, I'm probably going to believe them anyways. Or something
Yeah, but the
questionable.
problem is they can come up again.
Well, they can come up again, but I'm not going to, I don't want that whole go, you know.
And it has to be remembered by everybody.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand that. I understand that. If people aren't going to be used by any kid, and a lot of people that get in there are people who are really not in our skill set. Like they may be, I don't know, they may be I don't know,
Waitress.
yeah, maybe a waitress, and that's their deal, a bartender. I mean, I want people to be sure.
well, how can I do that? We do use them as $10 people because if I need.
I understand that, but you need to make that decision. If
Okay.
you're working with a bartender that makes $80,000 a year, we're not going to use a person.
Well,
You know, so make it intelligent decision on who you're going to put in there. And if you've made that decision, the chances are they're probably going to stay there as long as we can reach them. But there's a couple people out there who, for whatever reason, they're not really employable. I've got a guy that has Alzheimer's, please. You know, I'm sorry he's got Alzheimer's, but he'd be deleted. You know, it's just stuff like that. But I'll take a quick review of that. The one thing I just don't want you guys to
what do you
is
say?
that's coming on, Harry. I just don't want people to be dumped in that unreachable people to be deleted.
Well, and one thing he said was, you talk to somebody and they say, don't ever call me again, I'm happy about my job. I mean, it's up to you whether you put in, the guy was pissed, the guy, whatever you want to put in. Obviously, you don't put in unreachable because he is reachable, but you wouldn't believe how many times the first time I talked to somebody and they're combative with me, and then 6 months down the road I talk to them and they're so freaking happy that I called. So, in my personal opinion, when I hear that, I just write, not interested in moving right now. If it's a client and he's a jerk to me, I just put no needs, because I don't know what's going on in his life. His mom might have died this morning. His boss, his two managers might have left him, and he's managing 100 people today, and he's just in a pissed off mood. You really don't know, so I don't really take that too personally. And I personally don't like putting the negative stuff in PCR because then the next person that goes to call him might not call him my candidate. That might be a good candidate because they saw that note.
That's a good point. So I don't know like doing that.
Like yesterday, I called the guy in Casa Grande. We got the Jones deal. He said Henry Brown. I said, hey, I got a great position. He goes, where's it at? I'm not going to the Valley. I'm like, no, it's in Casa Grande. He goes, let me get Jones. I said, yeah.
Well, there's not two choices.
He's like, fuck that. If I leave Henry Brown, I'm not going anywhere in the automotive field. I'm out. I'm like, okay then.
The note that I would have put in there,
Happy birthdays.
I'm not interested in moving to looking at Casa Grande. That's the note I would have put in there. Okay. I wouldn't have put, I don't want to go to the Valley. I don't want to, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not interested whether he's happy. I'm interested in if you look at an opportunity at Joe. If the answer is no, just write it down there. I mean, I don't care. Maybe someone from AutoNation needs a director of technicians that would pay this guy $100,000 in Phoenix. Well, you know what? You owe it to him to give them to say no then. But so that's a good point. Try not to put comments in there that are gonna, whatever. If the guy makes a big stink about don't call me at work, yada yada yada, you can make a note like that. The best place to reach this guy is at 5 o'clock or whatever. But things that discourage a recruiter from calling are really comments I don't really want. I want you guys. When you're a recruiter, if someone called about an opportunity yesterday and you get the same opportunity today, well, you might want to know that. If you need to call him today for that opportunity, at least you see the note yesterday that you've already called him and you can handle it for hey, I'm sorry to call again. I know you said you weren't interested, but this came up and it's a fairly unique opportunity, and I can tell from where you're at right now, I can tell from the pay scale, I can tell that this makes sense. Would you quit calling me? Yeah, and and that's a key point. That's a key point because people that don't call you back on their cell phone, you got to make sure you got a work number in there. If someone puts a work number in there, I like to know, in fact, that person is really working there. I mean, that's kind of important, And then they got to answer their phone, so you need to do that. Just make it quick, be respectful of it, but You gotta have as much contact information as possible. Another thing too, just while we're on this kind of rambling, another thing too, if someone refuses to give you your work email address, you need to kind of explain to them who we are and what we do. We recruit people and we fill work orders. You're a manager, I need your work order. If they're reluctant about that, give me that information. You haven't finished your job. Your finished job is to tell them who we are and what we do. So you just be aware of that.
Well, if you already work with the company, it's pretty well coded how they put their email addresses, how they develop them. You know, a lot of times, unless it's finance. Sometimes finance is different than the rest of the people. But, I mean, I find people just by copying their name.
Well, you can find them, but if you're on the phone time, somebody here, and you say, what's your email? And they say, well, I don't have a work email. Well, you have a problem. You may as well address it.
You know, I mean, if it's not there or something.
Well, you can get it. I'm not talking about getting it. It's about, identifying a candidate isn't quite, or a potential client doesn't really quite understand what we do. And a lot of people don't understand what we do. So we got to tell them. Marcia, any questions?
No question.
Okay.
All right, have a good night.
All right.
Bye, Marsha.
Marcia, I'll call you back.